Deep Rock Galactic Rogue Core is finally here, and I was so hyped for this game. I love Deep Rock Galactic, I loved Helldivers 2, which people debate whether those should be compared or not, but I like roguelikes. This seemed like the perfect game for me, so I bought it right on launch and jumped right in, and I gotta say, it's a bust. In its current state, it's just not worth playing at all. The frustrations outweigh anything good about the game, and I don't do negative reviews. I don't want to just sit here and spew, oh, it sucks, it sucks, it sucks. You know, I appreciate the devs spent time making this, but I really genuinely only have like one or two positive things to say about this game. The entire experience is not fun. It is not a good game. First off, right off the bat, it's meant to be a multiplayer game. You can play it in solo, but it's clear that it's meant to be a multiplayer game. It's built with that in mind. I have no problem with that because it has the ability to team up with random people. You can find people through Discord, you can find people on Reddit, you can find people through the in-game matchmakers. So there's no problem there. The problem is that these other people can hold you hostage, and it creates these long lulls of just absolute boredom. Like, to upgrade your stuff, everyone has to stand near the mule to upgrade your gear. Well, if one person wants to run off, guess what? You're not upgrading your gear. There was one point where we were doing a mission and one guy just decided not to hit the ready button, and we were just stuck. All right, game over. You gotta quit, lose all your progress, and start over because one person decided not to hit the ready button, and they just held us hostage. Just so you can see I'm not exaggerating, here's the loading screen. I'm going to leave that up in the top left-hand corner because there's nothing super important up there. We'll talk about that later. But you can just watch as we're stuck there while I'm playing the actual game here until I decide to quit the game because the guy just decided, hey, we're not doing that. Speaking of boredom, so the game appears to have two phases. Now, I only played on like the standard difficulty. I only played a few levels because I had no fun. There was no fun to be had here, so I had no incentive to go any farther into the game. But the base mode, when you're just starting playing the game, there's two phases to the match, it seems like. Phase 1 is run around and grab a bunch of stuff to get upgrades, and then phase 2 is to hit the elevator button to go down to start it all over again and fight a wave of enemies. And that's terrible pacing. Absolutely awful pacing, where there'll be like 5 minutes where you're just running around gathering ore and grabbing things and moving around and grabbing it. And that's it. You're just grabbing things. It's barely qualifies as a video game. And occasionally enemies will spawn while you're doing that, but it's a snore. The pacing is awful, which is only mixed with the ammo economy is terrible. You will run out of ammo so fast, which means you don't want to use your ammo, which means every one of those little fights drains you. And I understand like the idea behind it is, okay, the longer you stay here, the more dangerous it gets, the more enemies we're going to drain you of your resources to encourage you to keep moving. But the game wants you to stay in one place and collect all the resources and do all the things. So those two philosophies are constantly at odds with each other, and it just creates this long lag of nothing, 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 huge fight, nothing, 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 huge fight, nothing, nothing, nothing. And when you get those upgrades, let's talk about the upgrades. Now, a lot of roguelikes suffer from this, where they're very, very like specific sort of things. And that works to create like super overpowerful builds, but it's boring in the moment. For example, you can get an upgrade that gives you +5 critical. Well, whoopee. Like, yes, that is good, especially like if you've got a minigun or something, but that feels boring. There's another one that gives you +7 health when you melee something, which that's again good, but kind of boring. So in a lot of roguelikes, you're looking for these big upgrades that change your build and give you a whole lot of things, but a lot of these upgrades are just kind of meh, and you have to share them with everyone else. When you're playing in a 4-man game, it'll pop up all the upgrades and you have to fight over who gets the upgrade, so someone can just decide to completely jerk your build for no reason. It's a co-op game, you're supposed to be working together, but that doesn't always happen. We've seen that time and time again, right? Here you can see there's an upgrade waiting for us. Not everyone wants to run the upgrades, so I guess we just don't get our upgrade for now. It just, the game's core mechanics constantly clash with each other. I also hate that when you do all stand together and get the upgrade, it'll interrupt the action. So you could be in the middle of a boss fight, and then you get a blah, here's a screen, now everything pauses, you've got to upgrade, and you're going from the adrenaline of the fight to all of a sudden this everything's frozen moment. It feels bad. Also, speaking of teamwork and problems there, friendly fire is on, which I'm a Helldiver. I have no problem with friendly fire being on, but it is incredibly frustrating that someone will drop like a fire grenade on you and drain all your resources all at once. Again, I understand why it exists there, but some people don't know that friendly fire is on. That might be solved down the road as people kind of learn how to do these things, but they can absolutely wreck your day in a few seconds. Speaking of wrecking your day, up in the top left-hand corner that was covered by that little thing I had that was showing like that was being held hostage in that other game, that's the timer. Every game has a huge timer, and the longer you stay, the more dangerous it gets, which again, that's at odds with, hey, sit here and explore, but also this timer is going to absolutely ruin your day. Gamers hate timers, people don't like to be on timers, it's just not fun. Speaking of not fun, being knocked out. Here I got knocked down during a boss fight. It happens, waiting for my teammates to revive me, and this lasted, I want to say, about 4 minutes of me just laying on the ground, doing nothing. And that just isn't fun. That's not a good time. That's not an enjoyable experience. And I understand it's punishment for getting KO'd, but like, if your players choose not to revive you for whatever reason, you're just sitting there not playing the game. What kind of game encourages you not to play the game? And with the ammo economy being as bad as it is, again, there's times where you're just not playing the game because, I'm out of ammo, waiting to run to the next ammo thing. Like, it just feels bad all across the board. Now, this is an early access game, and they are asking for feedback, which is why I'm taking the time to really go into this and tear it apart. But here's the problem is, usually in an early access game, you're expecting, well, feedback can change these things and make it better. I don't know that any feedback can make this better. Like, I almost feel like they need to tear the entire game down and just start over from zero. Like, there's not a single thing I enjoyed about the game. And again, I like Deep Rock Galactic, but this isn't Deep Rock Galactic. I like roguelikes. This isn't a good roguelike. If I wanted to play Deep Rock Galactic, I'd go play Deep Rock Galactic. If I wanted a roguelike, there's a million other roguelikes I can choose from. There's just no reason for this game to exist. I guarantee that after all the feedback, they are going to remove or change the timer, and they'll probably overhaul the entire perk system and give more interesting perks, as well as less infighting on it all. But again, that's going to be changing basically the entirety of the game. I know this is also kind of a petty thing to complain about, but I do wish the graphics were better. Like, I understand it's stylized to Deep Rock Galactic, and that's how the game looks, but like, this looks exactly like Deep Rock Galactic, and that game came out in what, like 2016? Oh, sorry, early access came out in 2018, full launch was in 2020. We've had at least 6 to 8 years to work on it, and it still looks the same. I probably should have put this back where I was complaining about the ammo, but I do need to bring up the boss fights. They're just huge bullet sponges, and in a game where you're not allowed to have a lot of ammo, again, that's antithetical to the fight. Like, okay, if it's going to take a lot of ammo, give me a lot of ammo. But some of these bosses seem to have like 5,000-10,000 HP, and I'm doing 10 damage per hit. Like, that just feels awful. I'm genuinely trying to think of something that I enjoyed about the game so that I don't just have this giant negative review with all these bad things that I didn't like. But again, I can't think of anything I had fun in this game. Like, about 20 minutes into the match you're watching me record here for this video, I just wanted to quit. I just didn't want to play it anymore. There was nothing enjoyable about the experience. I'm also going to harp on that I had 2 matches in about an hour and a half. Like, these matches are very, very long. And for all these things like, oh, you can run out of ammo and get soft lock. You can have your teammates hold you hostage. You can have people just randomly not want to click ready, and then you have to quit out of the game. To have such long experiences with so many things that can go absolutely wrong, again, the payoff just doesn't feel worth it. For you to get to a giant boss bullet sponge that maybe you can't beat because, we didn't get the right upgrades, we didn't get good enough upgrades, teammates are too busy wasting resources shooting each other, like, it just, nothing about it feels good or fluid. So if you're on the fence about the game, I'm gonna guess maybe in a year worth of updates, either it'll be abandoned and nobody will be playing it because it was a failed project, or it will be in a playable state after about a year of work. But it is early access right now. It's severely underbaked, and I don't think it's worth your time. I hate to say it, I want to give the money to the devs. I'm not going to refund the game because I want to support the devs. I want more Deep Rock Galactic, but this ain't it, Chief. As always, thanks for watching and have a blessed day.